Hello friends, welcome back to Raju Notes channel, your weekly current affairs update. Today we will see the current affairs update from 16th of April 2022 to 23rd of April 2022. Let's quickly see what were the news which you should know last week. The Border Road Organization has announced that India will soon be home to the world's longest highway at a feet of 16,580 feet, the Shinkula Pass between Zanskar Valley in Ladakh and Lahul Valley in Himachal Pradesh. As per this reports, the tunnel will be ready by 2025 and will provide all-weather connectivity between Ladakh and Himachal. This is also the world's highest tunnel to come up at this altitude. India was lacking such road connectivity at the borders, and this is essential for the armed forces troops to move quickly to the Chinese borders, which was missing till date. And generally this area was cut off because of snow and extreme weather conditions. So this is a good thing. This project is being undertaken under Project Yojak. In a recent development, after a terror attack in Pakistan, Pakistan has conducted military raids on Afghanistan's Kunar and Khost provinces last week, and it was strongly condemned by Afghanistan. It had called its ambassador to report to the Afghanistan Taliban government. And amidst all these pressures, a lot of skirmishes are now going on between the Afghanistan and the Pakistani armed forces. When I say Afghanistan armed forces, I mean to say the Taliban part. Now, one has to see this entire thing in context with India. How is this uncertainty around that border, western borders of Pakistan, going to help India? This can be utilized and should be very diplomatically used against Pakistan by India. And as Pakistan is trying to now deal with the same terrorism which India was trying to deal all these years, now Pakistan is trying to construct the border fence what India had constructed long back. Now that it is getting the same taste of its own things, the Afghanistani Taliban militants, rather I must say, are not allowing Pakistan to erect this border across the Pakistan border, and it is constantly attacking and killing people on both sides. So how can this be a geostrategical advantage for India? One can think on it, and maybe it can be answered or explained in the way in case you are asked to deal with such situation. The India's first ever radio channel for a visually impaired, named as Radio AYUSH, has been launched in Nagpur, Maharashtra. The Nagpur's 96-year-old institution, the Blind Relief Association Nagpur, that is called as TBRAN, and the Samudrashti Kshamta Vikas Avam Anusandhan Mandal, also called as Saksham, are the organizations behind this idea. The channel will be available on various internet radios platform for free. A dedicated team of volunteers, mostly women, help in the creation of the content for the radio channel, which can be streamed to the visually impaired across the India and probably to the world. The complex, carefully performed process of going through the large amounts of content, recording, sound editing, and making such corrections will not hamper the productivity as per the team. So it's a very good thing. Let's hope and pray that such radios become more and more popular across the globe. If you can recollect the ASAT, that is anti-satellite weapons, well, these are the space weapons designed to incapacitate or destroy satellites for strategic or tactical purposes. So several nations possess this operational ASAT system. Although no ASAT system has yet been utilized in the warfare, a few countries like China, India, Russia and US have successfully shot down their own satellites to demonstrate their ASAT capabilities. And also ASATs have been used to remove the decommissioned satellites. Well, ASAT roles include defensive measures against enemy space-based or a nuclear weapons, probably a force multiplier for nuclear first strike, a countermeasure against the adversary anti-ballistic missile defense, asymmetric counter to technology superiority adversary, and various other things. So, but what happens is with the use of ASAT, it generates lot of space debris, and which can collide with the other satellites and generate more and more space debris. And a cascading and multiplication of such space debris could cause the Earth to suffer from what is known as Kessler's syndrome. What it is, you should know. But US, the news which is coming is that US has announced that it will no longer conduct the ASAT missile test. So it becomes the first nation to make such a declaration from the panel of China, India, Russia, and US. I hope that it will be taken care, and rather other countries will also follow the lead given by the United States. Lieutenant General Manoj Pandey has been appointed as the new Indian Army Chief. And Lieutenant General Manoj Pandey is the first officer from the Corps of Engineers to hold this post. We all know that General Pandey was appointed as the Vice Chief of the Army Staff in February 2022, and he will take over the appointment from General M.M. Naravane as the Army Chief. And this is to be done by 1st of May 2022. A very interesting report this week happening is that Elon Musk is trying to invest up to almost $15 billion of his own money to buy Twitter. See, Twitter has been going down financially. The financial losses of Twitter are going down day by day. It is going into kind of debts. Sorry. Yet Elon Musk is willing to buy this company, because I have been always telling, see this move not as a simple buying and selling of a company, but it is buying the world power. You know that Twitter had banned the then running United States President Donald Trump permanently from the platform. So such is the power of social media. So just imagine what would be the Elon Musk's position once he gets Twitter into his own hands. He is already controlling the satellite internet. He has already demonstrated that in Ukraine. He has placed so many satellite terminals, and thereby negating the internet failure in Ukraine. So with such satellite terminals, with such connectivity, and with such a powerful platform of Twitter, what Elon Musk can achieve is left to your imagination. Probably he'll be able to control governments, maybe have a hand in their either raising or fall of the governments. So it leads to a debate. Should such powerful tool be controlled by one person? That is always debatable. You should also think on those lines. And what do you think? Do comment on this topic as well. This week, India had successfully test-fired the Brahmos missile from Sukhoi 30 Mark I jet, and this aircraft, Sukhoi 30, took off from the eastern seaboard, and it fired this missile successfully. It was fired onto a decommissioned Indian Navy ship in the sea. And why the test important? Because if you know, we are already in deal to export this missile. We are already sending our training teams to the foreign countries for this missile system, and now it is demonstrated that this missile can be used by the land, air, and sea-based delivery systems. And the capability of Brahmos is that it can fly at a speed of 2.8 Mach. So a good thing as far as the Atmanirbhar defense sector is concerned. About 3 weeks back, we had discussed how Russia was cut off from the international payment system called as SWIFT. That is when I had said that India should, fill in this gap and jump in, take this opportunity for its own UPI payment systems. Well, that has come true. Now, Russian diplomats are in talk with India to find a solution for their payment systems, and they are wanting to replace the SWIFT with Indian system, and Indian system is already robust. We have seen so much of UPI payment systems going on without a glitch. So probably if this works out well, then India and Russia will probably use their unified payment interface system, and it will be a great step for Indian economy or Indian economical sustenance and stability across the world. Amidst all these, with so many sanctions being put onto Russia, Russia is now turning towards India for its medical equipment. A lot of countries have put their sanctions on Russia, and that is now affecting not only Ukraine, but Ukraine has got the support of NATO countries. But Russia is slowly being cut off from the world, so it is looking towards India ever than before. And it is asking for more and more medical devices or medical equipment from the country. India should step up to this. India should produce and become Atmanirbhar in this sector. And also, this war between Russia and Ukraine has certainly given us input that we in the country lack the infrastructure for providing teaching and imparting education for a lot of doctors. Somehow India was been obsessed with that of the BTechs and computer engineers and computer software engineers, but somehow the medical profession has been neglected. Probably this is the time that India should fill up this gap of the world and get back the medical. As such, we are the hub for medical tourism, so we should also get the students to fill up this void which is there in India as of now. Last time we had discussed the shuffle happening in Pakistan and oust of the Pakistani Prime Minister Imran Khan. The 37-member federal cabinet took the oath in the office of Pakistan on Tuesday, just after a week after then leader of the opposition Shehbaz Sharif replaced the Imran Khan of the country's PM as the country's PM through a no trust vote. If you recollect, the PPP's Hina Rabbani Khar, who served as their foreign minister from February 2011 till March 2013, was appointed Minister of State for Foreign Affairs in the new government, whereas PPP's chief Bilawal Bhutto Zardari and former Prime Minister Shahid Khan Abbasi, who were actually tipped to get some kind of a foreign and a petroleum ministers, were left out. So the new government also has some kind of a heartburns. What will it lead to? We will have to wait and watch. And how can these left out important ministers will be accommodated? That probably time will tell us. About last week, we had discussed the Criminal Procedure Identification Bill, which was put up to the President of India for his consent. Finally, this week, President of India Ramnath Kovind has given his consent for this Criminal Procedure Identification Bill, which allows police to obtain the physical and the biological samples of the convicts. So there it is. It is already now. It is no more a proposal. It is as a bill. So it will give more powers to the investigation agencies. The news, which is not really good, but some things to do with the China and the Australian area. The China on Tuesday had said that it has signed a security pact with Solomon Islands. Solomon Islands is just, if you look at the world map, it is just above the continent of Australia. And it is a very small island, and it is a group of small islands. But China almost coming on the head of the Australia is a matter of concern for the Australia as well. So this announcement, as per China, will give assistance to maintaining social order and national security in the Solomon Islands, which directly means that China will put in its some kind of force or a troop or maybe police force to govern that. So this is a direct concern for Australia. That in turn is a concern for US. That in turn is concern for the Quad. So how can this all be seen? It should be seen on a larger perspective. And we see that some of the concerns that these will be a Chinese military base in the Solomon Islands very soon. So, point to be worried about. As per the global vision of India, the Prime Minister Narendra Modi had announced a special AYUSH visa category in the Indian visa. And he said that India is going to introduce a special AYUSH visa category for the foreign nationals who want to come to India to take advantage of the AYUSH therapy. The various AYUSH hospitals are proposed to be coming up, and even the armed forces have already started implementing this, and there are about 23 centers coming up as AYUSH centers. So, India has given yoga to the world very recently, though it was there from a long time, but maybe as a propaganda or whatever it is. Now, the government of India is trying to push AYUSH as the make products made in India and the health benefits coming out from this thing. This week, the well-known physicist Mr. Ajaykumar was appointed as a principal scientific advisor, that is PSA, to the government. Personal ministry orders has said so. He has been appointed to the post for 3 years. Mr. Ajay Kumar has been a member of Science and Technology and Innovation Advisory Council to the Prime Minister prior to this. So, a new change in his scientific PSA. And if you recollect, Mr. Ajay Kumar was honored with Padma Shri in 2013. A topic which I had just discussed. The Indians can now use Bheem UPI to make payments in UAE. What a great news. So, no need to convert your money. If you're going to UAE, please don't bother about your money exchange, other thing. Just carry your mobile, and using your Bheem UPI at the NeoPay terminals across UAE, you can just purchase at any shop and any merchant store. And the international arm for the NPCI has announced this thing last week, and this is the partnership between the NPCI International Payment Limited and the NeoPay of UAE. We are aware that the UPI payments are already on and in working conditions with Bhutan and Singapore. So the UAE is the third country, and if all goes well, then Russia will also be part of India's Bheem UPI system, or the UAE's the digital transfer system. Russia has successfully test-fired the Sermat intercontinental ballistic missile. The Sermat intercontinental ballistic missile, also called as the RS-28 Sermat, named after the Sarmatians, or NATO calls it as SSX-29 or SSX-30. It is known colloquially as in the West as Satan II. Is a Russian liquid-fueled MIRV equipped super heavy continental ballistic missile. And this was in test since 2009, and it has been finally tested. And Sarmat is one of the 6 new Russian strategic weapons unveiled by Russian President Vladimir Putin, and he had unveiled this on 1st of March in 2018. And the first test flight of this missile was done in April 2022. This is a 3-stage liquid fueled missile with a range of about 18,000 kilometers. Just imagine the range. So, and it has been designed to elude the anti-missile defense system. So just imagine the nuclear capable Sarmat missile being fired from Russia, going and hitting any part of the world of his own choice. And the time of the testing of this missile is also very important, wherein the world is kind of putting more pressure on Russia and is trying to threaten with so many things. Putin is now probably trying to play up his own arsenal against the world. Last week also saw the G20 Summit happening in Washington, D.C. And once this summit was going on, several members walked out of the G20 meeting the moment in the backdrop of this Russia-Ukraine war, and the representatives from United States, Ukraine, Britain, France, and Canada boycotted the meeting when the Russian officials started to speak virtually, and many other virtual members also turned off the cameras. Probably this was their way of sulking, but did it make any effort? I don't know. And does it make any effort in future? I don't know. But let's wait and watch what will this be. A very interesting news coming in from the Republic of Maldives. The president of Maldives, Ibrahim Mohammed Soleh, has issued out a decree saying that recently there were anti-India hate processions and banners put across Maldives. This was done by some of the selected people to tarnish the country's image. But somehow Maldives, because of our long traditional partnership, the president has issued a decree, as you can see on the screen, wherein he has categorically said that any kind of anti-India processions, or probably kind of even when used campaign for such things, will be considered as an insult to Maldives itself, and actions will be taken under Article 115 C, D and J of the Constitution of Republic of Maldives. And he has immediately put a decision to stop campaigns and of all natures, and has instructed all agencies to take strict action if some kind of an anti-India demonstration happens in Maldives. What a good diplomatic external affairs, or our own policies. It's a good thing. It's a beautiful thing, and rather I think India must have something like this than what the other countries are displaying. Well, if you are a credit card holder or a debit card holder, there are new guidelines which are coming in from the RBI, which will be effective from 1st of July. Some very prominent things being that no hidden charges on credit card issued free of cost will be included henceforth. People have been paying some kind of hidden charge on your credit cards when they say that it is free of cost, yet you keep on paying some kind of a transaction fee, some kind of a holding fee and other things. Such things will not be charged henceforth, and it will be very transparent. While banks will not force the customers to avail any kind of debit or credit card, it shall also intimate the users 30 days prior to their implementation. And also, the banks are now liable to tell you for the reasons for rejecting your application card. Many a times when you apply for a credit card, your application is rejected without even telling you as to why it has been rejected. So now the banks will have to give you a reason for the same. Good thing. Last week we saw the UK Prime Minister Boris Johnson visiting India during the Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav, 75th year of the India's independence. Well, the time is I must say it's a coincidence that we are celebrating the independence from Britain and the British Prime Minister is here. Well, that was one part, but please understand the, I must say, volley or rally of international premiers visiting India in a very, very short span of time. What is cooking? What is boiling? What is there in the hot pot? That is certainly something happening. India is being, my guess is India will take a center stage as far as the Russia-Ukraine war is concerned. He will, I think, probably the mediator. That is what is my strong guess. What do you feel? I don't know as to why so many foreign nationals, not nationals, diplomats or the heads of the states are visiting India, and that too for a very, very short span. Though all of them are coming in the garb of trade, which is again a welcome step, but yet there must be certainly something. We will have to wait and watch. If you are some kind of an analyst, do also share in the comments below as to what do you think all these visits are for. Overall, whatever be the case, it is a good thing for India. Today itself, rather, the Prime Minister Narendra Modi has shared the data on countries with most emerging unicorns. And India is world's number 2 as far as the unicorns is concerned. The first in is China. So a country with almost no unicorns to suddenly a country with all now coming the second after China is a worthwhile and an appreciable act on all of the citizens of the country, and we are proud to be in this league now. It is said that China has 27 emerging unicorns, whereas uh, India's is slowly but certainly catching up, and we have certainly benefited ever since the corona has hit this world. Any event, major event of this world post corona has been in India's favor, and I am a very strong believer of that, because I can only see the advantages than the disadvantages of corona and any kind of a war happening either with Pakistan, China, Israel, Palestine, Ukraine, Russia. Wherever you take, India has been certainly rising up in the States. Only place where India is going down is the internal situation, which is degrading day by day because of some politics. Please don't get into that. We are a great country. We can still be a great country. We can be the world's number 1. Please work towards it, and don't spend your so much of energies onto the unnecessary things. That is all, gentlemen, I have to share this week. It is a little longish video, but I was told by one of my subscribers to cover more topics so that they find it better for their upcoming examinations. Thank you so much. This is Raju Notes. If you're listening to me for the first time, please do subscribe to this channel and share with people whom you feel will gain out of this information. My next video, I will see you on the next Sunday. Till then, take care, wear your mask. Now it's mandatory. We are likely to get it. China is again dishing out its virus to us, and states have already started implementing your masks. So please wear your mask. Do carry your digital certificate of your first 2 doses and take the supplementary dose if possible. Stay home as far as possible and stay safe. Take care of your loved ones. Bye bye.